Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Through the Lens. This time it's with, what are we calling you now? Pitching strategist, former pitching. Let's go with pitching strategist emeritus, Chad Rhoades. How does that sound?
How about pitching professor, or the professor of pitching? Since I'm doing my classes, I think a professor of pitching is what I'm going to go with.
I actually like how that sounds. The pop. He's the pop. So how have those classes been going? Obviously, it's just been about a week. So what is the class designed to be? What's it called? And then what's the mission behind it?
We started a website and with a couple of guys there, kind of the nerd crew, we're kicking around some ideas, and I've always wanted to do my own classes because I guess, the viewpoint that I'm coming from, as you know, it's a little bit different. And it's more strict pitching. It's not necessarily the analytics side. It's not a complete mechanical side. It's not a delivery side. It's more pitching and kind of how everything's involved in pitching and understanding your body and what you're good at and what makes a pitcher. I wouldn't call a backup outfielder getting in a big league game in a mop-up situation. I wouldn't call him a pitcher. He's not a pitcher. Is he pitching? Yes, he's pitching. Does that mean, he's not a pitcher? So it's kind of understanding what it means to really be a pitcher and how to pitch, and break it down, the throwing program, the delivery, how to read it, and then the mental side, kind of do that over 4 weeks. And I didn't get as much feedback on the professional and the college, the older group yet. And it really is because, as they are making the move to Portugal.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit time lacking to get the website going and promote it and make sure that I was going to be able to do the classes when I needed to do them. We started those up this week, and I got a full crew in the youth and the intro. So there's more of the dads and then the little ones. So it's I like doing those. It's good. It's fun. But I wanted to do more professional in the college. But I just put out today. I'll be doing another class November 29th. Through the December 20th, dodging the holidays, and then kind of get these back on track and do some more in early January, early February, kind of have like an ongoing month-long class. And it kind of works out well for me because instead of doing a lesson package for somebody that's a month-long lesson package, it's like, I'll give you everything. Let me teach you how to teach yourself and be your own best coach. I could do it in a month. You don't have to waste your time going these lessons and stuff, man. I'll break down your video. I'll do it in a group setting. We'll do it and treat you just like a pitcher, like I do during my season. And I'll teach you everything that I know. I'll give you all the worksheets. I'll give you all this stuff. Whatever you need, you're going to get my opinion, take it or leave it. But that's kind of the whole goal behind it. And then I'm going to add in a hitting side to it. I'm going to add in a coaching side. Going to bring on some of the nerds later on and do more of the analytics. But it was really a way, if I'm going to be living abroad this next year, and it's a way for me to kind of keep the coaching and the baseball in my blood and kind of give my information out and kind of I don't shy away from giving anything out. So I thought this was a perfect way to go ahead and start dabbling in that world and get it built up. It's so it's running. We're going. I got a class tonight. It's a little late in the evening for me, but that's what I got to do if I'm going to live over here. It's beautiful over here. It's not easy, man. It's not easy because I thought it would be more of a transition into Spanish, with the Portuguese. I thought there would be some kind of correlation. No, there's not. There's not. And it's a little different, but the classes are rolling, man. It's fun, and I probably will get you on sometime. I'm going to do a podcast myself. I want to have to be a part of it, and just get different points of view. I'm going to call it get some feel. So I got that blocked off, and we're going to talk about getting some feel in some different areas of the game and kind of where it's going. But I'll stop there. That way you can kind of ask me something else.
Now,
you got to stop me, man.
Hey, just let you go. You give me some good stuff. I like it. Now, the class is called, or the idea behind it is the bridge. And I remember some conversations about mid of the season between you and the nerds and some other people about What is the bridge? How do you find the bridge? If you had to explain to somebody that has basic level baseball knowledge, what is the bridge?
The baseball bridge, the bridge in itself is kind of, it's a medium to communicate. I wouldn't say old school to new school, but I would say logic to intuition. To me, it's something to cross that little chasm of people think it's one way. You got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. It's numbers. It's mechanics. It's feel. It's old school. It's results. No, it's a combination of all those things. And what we wanted to present was we wanted to be the mouthpiece. We want to be able to help people cross from one side to the other and show how both sides can be cohesive and work together and kind of mesh.
Now, you kind of touched on it a little bit. You moved to Portugal right after the season ended. You touched on the transition a little bit. What is the main differences in lifestyle between Portugal and Florence, Kentucky?
lifestyle. Oh man, the food over here is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and it's cheap. The people are really nice. The weather's been beautiful every day. I think yesterday and today has been the first two cloudy-ish days that it wasn't 75 and beautiful all day. But it's all walkable city. It's a walkable city. I mean, you're going to get your workout in. It's all cobblestone streets and tiled sidewalks and tiled buildings and beautiful architecture and culture. It's awesome and it's amazing compared to Florence, Kentucky. It's an upgrade. There's no Chipotle. I know you like your Chipotle. There's none of that, but there is Taco Bell.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. I've crushed Taco Bell. The meat's better. It's a little cleaner. They do put a little bit more restrictions on stuff as far as what they allow on their food and what they allow on other products. So everything's clean. It tastes clean. It's awesome, man. I love it over here.
Now, so you said that you've been going to Taco Bell a lot. You've been now. What other kind of food is not necessarily Portugal known for, but that you have really dove into over there?
Not a lot of Taco Bell, just here and there. Pastries. There's a lot of little pastry shops. So stop in and I'll probably drink 3 or 4 double espressos a day and eat these pastel de nata. It's just a little pastry and it's got like this custard in the middle and then it's awesome. It's amazing. Like the pastries, they eat a lot of little baguette type of croissants. Found a lot of that stuff that is really good. So more of that. You got the Italian food, a lot of Indian food.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of Indian food. We see, but we kind of stick to the. I stick to the pastry stuff and get those little croissant sandwiches and crushed breakfast. I drink a lot of coffee.
There you go. That sounds good to me. I got my coffee right here. So you obviously moving to Portugal, different language, everything. How's your Portuguese? How much have you had to use it?
Man, it's funny because like where we stay is more I wouldn't say downtown area, but it's more of a city center. So there's a lot of expats that live here, but so it's kind of mixed in with the locals and the expats, which is a lot of people who come down from England and the UK. And so a lot of people speak English, and most of the Portuguese, especially in the schools, I think they teach English, Portuguese, and French. So a lot of the Portuguese people, and I'd probably say 80% speak English, and not fluent, but they can understand you. And then I can say please, sorry, hello, good morning, good night, coffee. Like I can say very basic. We have my wife and I were we have a tutor, and they're gonna come to our place once a week and start doing some more interactive kind of. It's hard to get immersed because so many people speak English and let you off the hook, and it's like okay, thanks, but But no, it's difficult. It really is. It gave me another appreciation for international players coming over and kind of going through. Like I think Yoshi pops in my head the most because I feel like the only thing I could say is thank you and sorry. That was the only thing that Yoshi, I feel like he could say the first couple of weeks he was here when he was there in Florence. But now I'm learning.
Now, how does you bring up the international player thing, which I think is really interesting. How did you, when you were coaching these guys, whether it was affiliated ball or with the Alls, or when you played with them, how was that first step when you meet somebody from a different country that doesn't speak English, coaching them and making sure that they stay along the process just like the Americans are?
It's different when you cross, and I'll talk about kind of Latin players. The Latin players is a little bit different because they do give a lot of respect to authority. And so as far as being a coach, they're gonna try their best to listen. And as far as we have translators that help out, but that doesn't matter when you take a team and you go off and you have 5 guys that don't speak any English and you have to do that without a translator. So being able to learn some words of how to coach different positions, like on the mound, that was something that I always kind of took pride in, as far as being able to know how to translate specific, my words that I like to use and when I'm working with guys, using those in ways to let them know that, hey man, I do care about you. Like whether we can speak fluently or not, it's kind of that I always talk about the gas meter, the coach's gas meter, where it's you give a shit factor. It's like, do you really care? And like I think when you do try and speak some certain words that are off the beaten path of just, hello, do this, stand here, like something that is involved with pitching and that is to give some specifics to them. I think that kind of opens their eyes and know that they do care. So they're going to try as much as they can. And so you kind of meet in the middle there and do that. It's difficult. I think the hardest thing about it for me was when I like to do a pitcher's meeting every day in a group setting. And when I had 5 or 6 guys that need a translation, and I have to stop and I have to find somebody to translate the same message that I'm giving in English and hope that the person translating will give the same inflection and tone and verbiage that I actually want to get across to the other players. And I know that bridge doesn't always get crossed. So I do try and spend more one-on-one time to show them that I do care and hey, we're really working on this hands-on. This is what we need to focus on. Whether the words are there and translated or not, it's spending time and showing kind of hands-on care. It's difficult. It's a hard thing to do, but that's what makes it more worthwhile. And it helps you appreciate how somebody can adapt and be able to want to listen and like to want to apply and really, because you got someone. It's like working with Edgar and Villalobos and Yonker. Like when I had them years ago with the Marlins, when now we're pretty fluent. They're fluent in English, so you can understand it, you can have a conversation. But when I met them, it wasn't that way. And so laying the groundwork of starting small, but seeing how they wanted to grow, they wanted to know more. So they would learn and I would learn. And so like seeing that, I think it helps the whole coaching process and learning in itself.
Now you've coached a lot of guys in your career. You've been a coach for a long time, in addition to your playing days. Now, one specific story that you actually mentioned to me just before we got on here, of course, the World Series is going on right now. Braves and Houston, after last night, it's now 3-2 in favor of the Braves. Dylan Lee, pitcher for the Braves, a guy that you had a couple of years ago, and he's now pitching in the World Series. How's that feel you coached a guy that is pitching at the highest level and pitching for a championship?
Man, it's really cool. I think there's guys in probably about 6 or 7 different organizations that I kind of keep up with that were going to the playoffs, and it's like, oh, God. And it's not like I talk to them, on a daily basis, and I don't really take any credit into any of their success. I think that's all theirs. But there's certain guys that you work with, and you see them have success that and you know where they came from as far as when I had Dylan when he was in short season. So the same year he got drafted, and being able to know who he was then, and then keeping up every single year and seeing him grow and seeing, how he applies stuff and seeing where he was. Like we talked in spring training, and when, because he wasn't with Atlanta at the beginning of the year. I mean, he was still with the Marlins, and I can't say it wasn't someplace that he wanted to be, but he was worried about his status there. And I was like, man, you just got to keep your nose to the grindstone and keep focusing on what you need to do every single day. Like, you're going to be where you need to be. Like, he's a guy, he's got good character, good stuff. He's going to be around for a while. I think he's only 26, 27, big left-handed arm. And, but he has the same type of this is all players, I think, have the same type of mentality, like in spring training, worried about a job and where he's going to be and all this stuff. And it's like, man, you just got to focus on you. You got to do you. You're going to be fine. We're talking about, I was trying to get over the y'alls if he didn't think that he was going to make the Marlins club and just pitching in the World Series for the Braves. I mean, it's pretty amazing. But no, it's funny how all the players are kind of like that as far as the mentality of when you're a player. It's all, I can't say it's self-centered, but it is focused on you and your career and what I need to do, what I need to be. And it's like how close they are all mentally on that level. Like a lot of guys we had this year, which I didn't think it was fair that a lot of our pitchers didn't get picked up. I think some of our pitchers that we had throughout the course of the season had just as good as stuff as guys do in the big leagues, but without the opportunity to be able to prove it and to prove how good they are to pitch against that type of hitters. I mean, that's not fair. I mean, it's not fair. But yeah, I thought it was funny that I was talking to Dylan and back in spring training, and we were worried about he was worried about getting a job, and now he is pitching for another team in the World Series. He's still doing it. And that was a talk to him. I feel like, man, it was in February.
Wow.
Now we're here in we're November now.
November 1st.
He's still doing it. So that's crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of guys in a lot of different organizations that I work with, that I had the pleasure of working with and being around, and I think I learned just as much from them as I hope they did from me.
Another guy that you probably haven't coached, but had indie ball ties, Tyler Matzek. He pitched in indie ball a couple of years ago. He had major league time before that, kind of got the yips, went to independent ball, got right. Now he's back pitching, and he's made a huge impact on this playoffs. That shows you, and how much does it help you coaching-wise? Tell these guys that maybe that they're struggling a little bit in indie ball, but they have the stuff to stay confident and be like, you can be picked up if you stay with it.
And I love working with indie ball type of player because, like I said, it's not the talent. It's not the talent level. It's not the skill that's different. It's really all up here. And being able to get them to understand, like, look, you're here for a reason. Like, I'm not trying to make you the best indie ball pitcher there is. Like, we pitch different, and I don't know if you noticed, and I think most people did, and some people get frustrated with it, but we pitch different than every other team in Frontier League. And I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way. I mean, I know me and Brian have had conversations where I'm sure he's on the same mindset that I was, as far as we're fastball heavy. We want to command our fastball. We want to teach these guys how to be professionals. Like, I want you to be the best pitcher you can possibly be. I'm not trying to make you the best Florence Yawls independent baseball pitcher. We can sit there and flip up 60% breaking balls and throw, 65, 70% off speed. Like, you're going to have success in this league if you do that. And just look at every other team. That's what they did, what they do against us. They threw all off speed. They didn't use the fastball, and their fastball, they didn't have very good command of it because they didn't have to, because they're going to throw off speed. You're not going to survive if you want to get out of there and you want to succeed and you want to climb a ladder and you want to get to the highest level. I'm going to coach you to do that, to not to be successful right here, right now. Like, yeah, cool, man, but like, trust me, if you learn what we're working on now and apply it, you're going to have success here. You're going to do that here. It'll be easy. It'll be a cakewalk, but you're going to give yourself an opportunity to be looked at to get out. And I think that most of our guys bought into that by the time the year was over. I thought we struggled in the playoffs a little bit, as far as being ourselves. I thought we tried to do too much, especially on the pitching side. Like I thought we were rolling and going into it, and then I thought we hit some bumps and bruises, man. And I thought we tried to take it into our hands and do more than we needed to, and that's kind of what it turned into. But I love working with the independent ball player because look, there's a reason that you're here. Like I want you to understand that. I think I'm a very good judge of being able to pick up on why it is that certain guys are there. But obviously try to convince someone that they're here for a reason and not just because they got screwed over. I think that's the difficult part. But letting them know that there is a reason they're here and trying to get them on that path to understand that this is what you need to focus on. This is what you need to focus on. And the earlier you get them to focus on that, the more length of time they're going to have to be able to give themselves an opportunity to get out. But I love working with an independent ball player. I do. I really do. It's one of my favorite. It's my favorite level. And I think going in the future, it's going to be bigger. I mean, I think, like I said, I don't know if it was because, I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say, and I don't mean anything bad by it, but I think that when they raised the price to buy out a player, I think that hurt. And I think it hurt a lot of organizations as far as, and a lot of our teams, because when they doubled that price to buy somebody out, I think there was some guys that could have went. And I don't know if $5,000 means anything to an organization. It really doesn't. It's what's a couple of weeks worth of balls, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I think it was more of a strong arm type of thing. Say, no, you can't do that. We're not going to take them.
Right.
Whatever. But there was a lot of players, and I thought we had a lot of pitchers on our staff that could pitch. They could pitch in Double-A. They could pitch in High for sure, and give themselves an opportunity, just like Matzek.
And I think a lot of that as well, the talent filters down when you eliminate a lot of the affiliated ball opportunities in a lot of those teams. And I think we saw that, especially with the arms this year. One more question before we get into you personally and that sort of thing. I know you haven't gotten to watch World Series or playoffs, but just a general question that I really picked up on watching the game last night. Braves hit a grand slam in the bottom of the first inning. Immediately following in the top of the second, Astros scored 2. How big is the inning after, pitching wise, the inning after your offense gives you a lead to shut them down, throw up a 0, and keep that momentum on?
And we talked about it all year, the shutdown inning.
Yeah.
And I'm torn, man. I'm torn, and I don't think the world will ever know about. Like I've come from 2 different schools of thought, and I've tried it in a couple different instances with a few guys, is making them aware of how important the shutdown inning is, but then also not trying to put pressure on that for that. I'm talking about for the individual, because obviously the pitcher, when he goes out for an inning, no matter how many runs are scored, he's not trying to go out and give up runs. I mean, but if I'm making an impression on him and his priority now is to get to an inning without giving up runs, it changed the priority of being able to just focus on the task at hand, just this pitch, one pitch at a time. But now I think it kind of puts in like this umbrella of, okay, this pitch means more because now I can't let them score. And so I think they try and do more and they get a little tighter. And I've seen that in certain instances. I was like, you can't prove it, because you can't go through a year and say, okay, with this half of pitchers, we're not going to tell them anything about a shutdown inning. Don't say anything. And then for these guys, we're going to make sure that you tell them every time they go out after a run scored, this is a shutdown inning, get the job done. And I don't think that you could weigh both sides and be like, oh, okay, it's more important not to say something, because I think guys are different. But the shutdown inning to cut the momentum down, man, it's huge. It's huge. I'm a big believer in momentum. I think if you control the count, you can control the tempo. And if you control the tempo, you're going to control the pace. And if you control the pace, you control the momentum. And if you can keep your hands on that momentum, you're going to win. You're going to roll. But I think it gets trumped if it's like, okay, keep the momentum going by going out there and shut down this inning. And the pitcher's like, Okay, well, I was just gonna do it one pitch at a time like I have been doing, but okay, you're right, I'll do it. And it kind of puts this weird skew on things. I mean, I could be way off base, but I'm not a big proponent of kind of putting that in their heads. It is important, and if they don't know it's important, and I got to remind them, and I got to tell them, then what's he doing on the mound in the first place for you? I'm not saying that had anything to do with what happened, giving up the 2 runs after the grand slam, but
Right.
as far as momentum, it is huge to be able to put it at 0. And to me, it goes with getting the leadoff guy out. I don't know if that's what happened, but go out, let's strike 1, get the leadoff guy out, and let's roll.
Ironically, I actually think it was the leadoff guy got on an error. We can talk about defense behind pitchers, I guess. So yeah, getting that leadoff guy out is very important, as evident.